All right. Welcome to Trauma Talk Today show with myself, your freedom coach, Nataushia Star, and our guest speaker this evening. I'm super duper excited because he is my Dillard University colleague, our Pastor Isaiah Stewart. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yes, welcome to the show. So, we are here for another great topic to help each of us cultivate a trauma free lifestyle. And our topic this evening is life after health scares, repurposing your desire to live. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get on into it.
Let's go.
All
Let's
right,
go.
let's go for
Come
it.
on.
All right. So Isaiah, share with us the trauma you encountered, the health scare trauma that you encounter. I know that you've had a few, so it's up to you if you want to kind of give an overview of a few or just tune in on one significant health scare
I
that
can
was
give an
just
overview.
life changing.
I give an overview and then we can dive in from wherever you want to go from there. I'm open. I'm ready.
All right. Well, let's start with that.
Come on.
The
All
health
right. So
scare trauma.
I had three overall. September 2000 and September 9th, 2006. I was ill for about a week, went into the hospital. I passed out and I came to, and there was a doctor in the room, and he said, "Do you know what diabetes is?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You have it." So I got scared, and I called my mom. Then they put me upstairs in the CCU, critical care unit, and I spent 2 days there, and then went downstairs to ICU. I had a blood sugar level of 1,342. The doctor told me I was supposed to be dead, in a coma, or have a diabetic stroke. He doesn't know how I was alive. I spent 12 days in the hospital there. Um, Next scare was April 4th, 2020, COVID. So two of my staff members caught COVID. They both died 4 days apart. I thought I was going to die. I had all the same symptoms: oxygen levels dropping, throwing up blood, chunks of, they say, your lungs, and all kind of stuff. Um, um, I was on track, and doctors gave up on me. Wild time. Um, and I was, it was kind of funny. I just knew I was going to die, and so I made peace with it. And I called my best friend, Dan, and was like, "Bro, let's sing." So he opened up his FaceTime, and I couldn't really sing, but he got on his keyboard and we started singing hymns. I closed my eyes. I thought that was it. I ended up waking up. Then the next one was April. I think it was 11th, 2000, and this is 25, 23. I got a bite from some kind of bug. It started swelling in my lower extremities. I went to the emergency room. They kind of said it was nothing. Then I called my friends who were nurses, and I showed them the picture. They were like, "No, they should have given you an IV drip, or yeah, IV antibiotic. Giving you a pill wasn't it." Went home, could barely walk. Went back to, my wife actually told me, "No, Uber yourself to the hospital, go in." I go to the emergency room at Ochsner, and they draw my blood. They look at my thing. They cut the lights off. So I'm like, "I'll be here for a while." Nurse comes back in an hour later, and he's like, "We're getting your bed ready." I said, "Bed ready for what?" And he said, "Oh, you're not leaving." I said, "What do you mean I'm not leaving?" He said, "You're infected." What? So that turned into a 15-day stay. COVID, I had double pneumonia. Inside the hospital, my kidneys were failing. They were getting ready to go into failure. Um, the doctor was going to amputate my foot, but the grace that I did not get my foot amputated was because my podiatrist was actually at the hospital doing a surgery that day, saw my name on the surgery board, and literally said, "What the hell? That's my patient. Let me look at his chart." They thought I had this thing called Charcot, and it was in the infection. They thought it was going to take over my entire foot, so they said they were just going to cut my foot off. Just do. Not my doctor. The doctor really didn't view my charts correctly. But they were ready to chop it off. My doctor saved my foot. That turned into a 15-day stay, which turned into getting pneumonia as well. I was gonna stay even longer, but I begged and pleaded with the hospital because it just took a toll on my mental health, about just staying in there. And then yeah, so yeah, there's that. And part of me getting to that stage where my body was even open to getting infected is I had grieved so bad. I was eating in grief. I kind of just stopped taking care of my health. So that played a major role in all that. So those are my three major health scares that I've had over the past uh, 15 years. Well, 20 years, 2006, 20 years.
Yeah, that's going on 20 years next year.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yes. I mean, if anyone doubts that God is real, just
It ain't
hearing
me.
all I'm just saying, just hearing those three stories alone is proof, proof,
Yeah.
proof, proof that he is real, and also that he has his hand on your life. So one of the things that stood out to me is when you said eating and grieving. When did that happen? Was that in between health scares? When did that occur?
Um, between 2021 and 2023. So I was tasked with pulling the plug on my biological father. He smoked marijuana that was laced with fentanyl. Um, it literally just wrecked his body. And well, you don't know, maybe, but a lot of times people don't really see the weight or the gravity of the thing that they may be tasked with doing. So at the time I knew that it was the best thing health for him wise to pull the plug. And I didn't really get the aftermath of it till two of my aunts blamed me for killing their brother. One stopped talking to me, cursed me out like a dog. It just took an emotional turn for the worse. And then it set in, like, not that I played the hand of God, but I made the choice to take the support of life, or life support, off, and let us succumb to his own just breathing cycles and patterns until it stopped. Um, and so I blocked it out for a while. I felt shame. I felt um, pain. I felt loss. I felt a myriad of things. I don't even think I
Mm,
processed all the feelings that I've had. But instead of crying, I would eat. So I
mm,
remember one day I felt real sad and I went and got like a banh sandwich. And then somehow Jamie Foxx "I Wish You Was Here" came on, and I thought I was about to cry. And then Hooters was across the street. So then 40 minutes later, I went to Hooters and I ate some chicken wings. And then I was driving down the street and I was going to pick up the kids from school, and something else came on. I stopped and I got some Subway cookies. I mean, it was just a never-ending cycle. Like, honestly, every time I felt like I was gonna cry, um, I ate, and
mm,
I just kept eating, and they say I wore my weight well. Um, because the funny thing was my waist was still 34, my stomach was getting bigger, but I could lift that bad boy up and put them pants on, so I didn't really think nothing of it. But I did. I ate myself into sickness. I did.
mm. Wow. So I'm curious. So when was the last time you cried? Have you
So,
cried yet?
um, that's a struggle for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I felt the urge to cry last week and didn't because I didn't know why I was crying. I can't
Mm,
rationalize in my head what for. Now, part of me yesterday was I keep my dad's ashes on in a necklace on a chain around my neck. I just took it off for the first time since January of 2024. 20 no, he died 2022. January of 2022 was the first time I took it off my neck last night.
mm-hmm.
Um, it feels strange.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Wow. It's amazing that the loss of a loved one that was due to a major health crisis is what called triggered the grief rather than the health scares that you actually endured yourself. So what was a turning point that awakened you to the need to heal from the traumatic experience of these health scares?
Want to be present for my children. So I talked with my great grand uncle, and he didn't know my father died twice, and he was shocked. And I said, "Well, what are you so shocked for?" He said, "My brother, your grandfather died twice. He died at 58. My father died at 58. I was supposed to die 3 times, and I'm not 40. So I'm like, something got to give. Something got
Mm-hmm.
to give."
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the catalyst to kind of make me want to, because it wasn't necessarily for me. I really,
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie and say I wanted to get healthy for me initially. It was, I don't want my kids to not have me, so let me get my life together so they can have me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, what has been because I remember when we were initially talking about how you really just had to repurpose your desire to live. So, what was that process, that transformation process, and really repurposing your desire to live to move forward?
So the initial thing was I want to be here for my kids. And then the Lord got me, and he got me with what's your call? And so while w- wanting to be here for my children is something great. It's very noble. It's very admirable. There's a greater call in my life to do more for the kingdom, and so my repurposing had to be around that. So I immersed myself back in to prayer, fasting, communication, talking, searching the word, reading the word, listening to the word every night. It's so amazing, not to deviate. You can read things in the Bible so many times, but I've had more revelation as of late listening to the Bible app at night before I go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to memorize literally almost whole chapters word for word, because I've been listening to it over and over and over, night after night after night. Um, I felt like in the Frankie Ray, not comparing myself to him at all, but just learning and memorizing the word, not even on purpose. It just happened. But repurposing and refining, rebranding my passion came out of desire to live for my children, but to live for the Lord as well.
Okay. Okay. And so how are things different now? What is one of the ways that you're navigating grief in a healthy way rather than in a coping way via emotional eating?
Um, recognizes the stages of grief,
Mhm.
understanding that it's a process, it's not linear. Understand that you will have ebbs and flows of it, that it might be a song or a scent. Um, I smelled Cool Water the other day, and I haven't smelled that, and that was his favorite cologne, and it sent me in, but I didn't cry. I said out loud, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away," and as strange as that is for some people, it was comforting. The comfort and joy and all that was, as a preacher, it took a while for me to get my father to accept Christ and want to be saved. He thought that he'd have to be this big square because it was saved, because my life was so serious and all sorts of stuff. So the joy in it when I stopped and thought about it was what the word says. I'll see him again.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's it's absent from the bride, he's present with the Lord. It was all a lie if what Christ did wasn't true. So sometimes I struggle with wanting to cry because what am I crying for? Um, I haven't come to terms with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. When the if I'm in a moment with the spirit that has nothing to do with grief or anything like that, and I'm just praising and I worship and I go into cry, those are tears of joy, not sorrow. Those are tears of praise. I come out, but then sometimes I feel this sorrowful um, desire to cry, but I think so logically, I don't get the logic behind crying, so I don't do it.
Yeah,
I'm saying this
yeah,
out loud for the first time. That's crazy.
yes. I love it because you're declaring that you want to be free from that. All
Come
the
on,
logic that's keeping you from flowing
lay me
in those
out.
moments. Because really the beautiful thing about crying is that only God can interpret
The
our
tears.
tears.
Mm-hmm.
It's another form of communication. It's another form of prayer and intercession.
Right.
I remember about like a couple of months ago, I was just crying randomly, like out of nowhere, and I'm like, what am I crying for? like intense cries, you can feel it
Come
from
on.
your stomach, like
Ah.
all of me just coming out. And
you
I
start
remember
crying.
crying. And I remember talking to one of my intercessors, and she said, Nataushia, you're in travail, you're interceding, you're in travail prayer right now.
Come on.
And I'm like, oh, because because I'm really trying to feel. I'm like, well, God, am I grieving about something? Do I need to heal from something? Like I'm investigating, asking the Holy Spirit questions. What are these moments of crying coming up? But when she said that, that made sense, and then revelation came out as to what it was that I was interceding on behalf of whomever after she said that to me. So I'm like, oh wow, I never even thought about intense prayer, intense crying as a form of prayer. So yeah, I hope that helps. This plant a seed. So when
Right.
that moment comes again, this kick that logic out the door and just really embrace that moment, because it's another opportunity to have an intimate moment with the Spirit of God as well. Because, like I said, He's the only one that can interpret what it is that our prayer, our crying, our tears, our weeping, our lamentations
Yeah,
are
our
communicating.
groanings.
Yeah,
I always liken to, the word says the Holy Spirit understands even your groanings.
yeah,
So I'm appreciative of the groans.
yeah.
It's just hard to do, and it's funny because I advocate for others to do that, to cry, I mean, I journal. I feel like I guess I cry in my journal if I journal. But
Mm-hmm.
just the physical tears coming out of my welling up and falling down.
Yeah.
It's almost like Bishop Moore, your tears.
Yeah, and he waiting to capture those tears in the bottle. He collects all our tears.
I don't want it to bottle it up. Don't bottle me.
All that build up inside, and the Lord just standing there right there. He's like, "Well, I'm waiting to capture your tears. He cherishes your tears. So,
Yeah.
yes, oh, that moment is coming. I'm excited.
Wow.
Let me know. Yes, because it's coming.
Come on.
The freedom to cry, the freedom to weep, and just allow your soul to release the residue of
Yeah.
all of those past experiences, and to release the whatever it is that you may even be praying and interceding, even in those moments of weeping. So I'm excited for you.
I appreciate you.
Yes, yes, yes. So all right, so we talked about the trauma,
Mm-hmm.
the turning point, the transformation process, and I love how your story lets us know that one part of the transformation process can be complete while yet still in the process of something else being transformed. So
Yes.
the thing about overcoming and healing from traumatic experiences is ongoing, because as long as we're in this earth realm, we're going to have trials and tribulations. This is a part of life. So I really love how your story is reminding us of our humanity. So, what is one practical tool that you can share that you implement yourself to really help you to continue to stay in the path of healing and not return to your default system of coping?
Oh, this is easy. Giving myself grace. As a pastor and as a person, as a man talks to men, I understand that a lot of people, we don't give ourselves grace. Um, Giving yourself grace, allowing yourself to be present in the now, not focus on the future. That's been the hardest thing. And really application of the word. So the Bible says, take no thought for tomorrow, right? Because it got its own troubles. So learning how to be in the now, learning how to accept that every day I wake up, all my needs are met. Give us this day our daily bread, right? Everything that I need is meant for that day. So giving yourself grace in the now, that some days you'll be good, some days you'll be bad, some days you'll feel like you're loved, some days you feel like you won't, some days you'll feel like the spirit is just sitting upon you and in you, and sometimes you feel like it's sitting in the back seat. But grace is the one thing I want to tell people to give yourself that, because we give other
Mhm.
people grace. We don't give our, we're hard
Right.
on ourselves. I'm hard on me.
Right. Absolutely. And I love that because what I'm hearing is that you're still growing in that area of giving yourself grace.
Hmm.
That's why I'm super duper excited about the moment when you allow yourself to cry, because that's another dimension of giving yourself grace.
You can
Giving yourself
postpone
the
that.
grace in the safe space to let it all out. And I love that you mentioned that, 'cause
Hmm.
that's actually one of the steps from one of my programs, Healing for Trauma God's Way, is give yourself grace. Because we are taught to always extend grace to others, but then we forget to give it to ourselves as well.
Can
So,
you expound on something for me?
absolutely. Hmm.
You said give yourself the safe space. For some reason that resonated in my spirit. Uh, because I don't know where my safe space to give it would be.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. You see, I really don't.
Yeah.
I have my study. I have, I can reach over and grab a Bible or a book or grab a gun for something and mm,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about that.
And
Say
I say that because you've always been the type of person that could provide a safe space for others.
right.
So it's that safe space for others to have their human moments, for them to process those human moments, even if it includes the most delicate vulnerability of who they are in that moment.
Hmm.
You provide that safe space. No, free of judgment, free
Yeah,
judgment.
yeah.
And so it's you're growing. What God is doing is growing in you the ability to give yourself that grace internally.
Hmm.
And once that is established within, when you create a safe space for yourself in the realms of your soul, your mind, your will, your emotions, in partnership with the Holy Spirit, then there'll be no longer no thoughts, logic that'll get in the way from you having those most vulnerable moments in the presence of God for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I bet a lot of those moments where you feel compelled to have one of those deep cry moments, you're by yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
be me.
It just be you, in the car,
Yeah, in the
in the
car.
office. You're solo. It's just you, and
I
so
had that at the office, and then I was like, now one of my staff members gonna walk in here and see me crying. And the last time it happened, because they call me Bishop at the office, and one of them walked in, saw me crying, left out. And went and told the whole office, and all of a sudden I'm getting a call from a CEO. She said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" So I don't know. They said they saw you crying. Nobody ever seen you cry before. The whole office is nervous for you. I'm like, oh God.
And that's only because your personality type. You're a joyful person,
Yeah,
so that is, so people can have a little moment if they see that side of you, because it's like you're always in high spirits. That's
yeah.
just the type of person you are. But yeah, yep, yeah,
My Jesus.
yeah. That's a major takeaway for you.
Come on.
Yeah.
We're making progress. Hey, all right.
Yes, yes, yes. But when it happens, it's gonna be like Joseph. He didn't care who heard him crying. Okay, Pharaoh and his people heard him crying. They at a distance, ain't they? In the whole other building, how they can hear that man
I'm gonna send you a text message with a big old teardrop. That means it has the bat signal. It
Yeah.
happened.
And that was a lot of buildup. All those things that Joseph went through, the prison, the this, the that. And it wasn't until that point that he finally released all of that residue in that moment
It takes
with his
time, and
team.
that buildup is
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
That buildup
Yeah.
is real.
Yep. 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 So I'm super excited. I really am.
Me too.
All right. Well, any questions? I know we don't well, thank you to those of you who catch the replay, because no one's here for the
Thank y'all.
live broadcast, and that's all right. And we'll also share, make sure you share the YouTube, because for some reason the live didn't go through on Facebook.
It's all
So
good. I will go to YouTube
and
when this is ready, and copy the link and post it on Facebook. I
yeah.
appreciate you for the opportunity for doing this, and I applaud you for the work that you do. I've known you since we were two trying to
Yeah.
discover being adults. I mean, like two
Right.
18-year
Right. We
olds,
were in the beginning
3,000 miles
stage
away from home.
of trying to figure out what this adulting life is like
Yeah,
as natives of California,
yeah.
way in New Orleans, Louisiana, right up out of straight up out of high school.
Come on.
Yes, indeed, to Dillard University. But thank God for that. I just man, God is just so good.
Yeah.
So what are some closing remarks that you would like to leave everyone with this evening, to really encourage them to repurpose their desire to live whenever they face a traumatic experience that makes them feel like life is no longer worth living? Because we do have those moments where
Yeah.
life makes it feel like that, but we got to push through. So what is your encouraging words for that?
My encouraging word is, if you were delivered from whatever situation it was that you found yourself in that was traumatizing or life changing, understand that God has a purpose for your life. And sometimes those experiences repurpose your purpose for your life. It's in that moment not to wallow in self pity, but joy in the glory in the joy of the Lord. Also search to find yourself and your purpose in Him, and I guarantee that'll add an immenseness to your life. It'll give a new fire, new desire, new burn. It wasn't until after that the door opened, the pastorship opened. A lot of things transpired in my life that I knew I was purpose for. But I had to go through some pain, some pruning, through some cutting, through the proving process, through the crushing process, the pressing process, to get a better oil out of me. So your pain, your struggle, is on you to get the best oil out of you. And then also, it's not even for you. This trauma that you're going through right now, the present time, is for somebody else who's not built like you, who will be ready to end their life. But God grace you to be here, and I'm excited that you're still here. I don't know you, but I'm excited that you're still here.
I love it. I love it. What you're going through right now is for someone who doesn't have the same resilience that you do.
Yes.
But God has purposed you to pioneer a way of breakthrough, freedom, healing, and deliverance
Come on.
for their journey.
Come
I
on.
love it. Yes, powerful. Woo-hoo. Come on now. That makes me, well, who am I? That made me want
No,
to ask
man.
those questions. Who
I
am
saw
I?
that happen in real life. Somebody, not to say that they were essayed for that purpose, but there was a young lady who was ready to take her life, and the person was able to minister, and it touched them. They were going to come to this church service, go home, and take their life. And that lady said, "I went through this at my age so that you can go and get through it." And I realized at that point that some of our trauma, our deepest, darkest trauma that we may face in our lives, sicknesses, whatever, it's not always for us. It's for somebody else who's a gift to the kingdom, just like you, but didn't have it in them to want to survive. So yeah, be
Mm-hmm.
encouraged. Be encouraged.
That is awesome. Powerful. I'm stirred up in my spirit.
Come on.
All right. So leave us with your contact. How can people catch you, contact you, connect with you? We know that you are a man of many talents.
A lot of hats.
More than just a pastor, you're an entrepreneur, a
Yes.
husband, a father, all those great things.
Yeah,
So just
yeah.
give a little bit about a blurb about who you are and what you do and how people can connect with you.
All right. I'm Isaiah, father, 3, husband of 1, pastor at the House of Healing Outreach Church, program director for a mental health agency, and owner of a firearm training company specializes in church defense, home defense, personal defense, concealed carry, women's shotgun, rifle, and pistol. So how do you get in contact with me? If it's for firearm or pistol or anything like that, it's angelarmsnola.com. If it's just to get me personally, it's Isaiah R. Stewart on what's that thing? Facebook. It's Brother Stew on Instagram. I'm probably gonna change that handle real soon. You can hit me at instructor at angelarmsnola.com or just hit me on the social media platforms. Please don't just call my phone out the blue, but you can if you need to. Sometimes I'll
Yes,
answer.
social media, email, or website.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those three. All right. Well, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well,
I
thank you so
appreciate
much.
you. Bless you.
Yes,
I love you.
likewise. Love you too, and don't go nowhere yet. And
Okay.
so thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you so much for joining us, Pastor Isaiah, and sharing your powerful testimony and
Yes,
really
ma'am.
keeping us encouraged, knowing that our journey is never fully complete, and it's okay that we're still in the journey, even though we've gained progress along the way. So thank you so much. So that is all that we have for today. This is your freedom coach, Nataushia Star, signing off, and our guest speaker. Until next time,
Next time, y'all take
peace
care.
and
Be blessed.
freedom. You all. Bye bye.